It is not a dream. The Knicks are back in the NBA Finals for the first time since '99, and they did it in sweeping fashion against the Cavaliers. New York had zero mercy in Cleveland, winning in Game 4 by a 37-point margin. The Cavs have still never beaten the Knicks in a playoff series and have been swept for the fourth time in a series. Cleveland coach Kenny Atkinson said this after the game, quote, "They're playing better basketball. You got to give them credit. They're on a heater." But here's Kat on how the Knicks got here.
We've gotten to this point because we've worked together. We've been a team. We've been unified. The collective group has shown up in spots when we need to. Landry Shamet, of course. You bring up Deuce McBride, Mitchell Robinson. You could go down the list of players on our team that at special moments in the playoff run have showed up and been huge contributors to our success. So Jalen, of course, deserves the MVP. Had an amazing series. Did what he always does, but it's been a team that's won these games because the defense we've played as a team has been phenomenal, and as a team we've hit shots. We've put each other in positions to succeed and excel, and because of that, we're finding ourselves with this hat, this trophy, this shirt, and having a chance to cement ourselves in history.
And they definitely have. Let's go by the numbers on how the Knicks got here. The first is number 11, which represents their current win streak as they enter the finals. 11 is tied for the third longest win streak in a single playoff run. The next number is 19.4, which is the Knicks' point differential per game throughout the playoffs. That's the highest margin of victory of any team entering the finals in NBA history. And last but certainly not least, we have 3, which is how many 20-point wins they have had in closeout games so far. They're the first team ever to win 3 closeout games in a single postseason by at least 20, and they won each by 30. So they are doing it all. So are we, because NBA analyst Danny Green is with us now. Danny, I just went through the numbers for the Knicks, but which one is the most impressive to you?
I mean, all the numbers are impressive. They're doing an unbelievable job of staying focused and locked in. That's the most impressive thing to me is their mindset, right? They're not satisfied. They're still hungry. They're taking on and embodying that Kobe Mamba mentality, right? Like they flipped the switch somewhere in the playoffs, which, you know, most people don't predict. Early in the season, I was like, they don't look together. They don't look like they're cohesive. But in that Atlanta series, they had somehow find a way to flip the switch and turn it on and then have not turned it off since. And even when they're up 3-0 or up 30 points, they're not satisfied and looking forward or looking ahead like, oh, we're in the finals or we're in the championship. Their expectation is a lot higher. And again, they're showing that they're hungry and not satisfied even when they're up big in games.
Yeah, even when they were down big in games, that mentality really helped them, especially to kick off the series against the Cavs, Danny. But we know what's coming up next. Quickly, how much of a chance do you give the Knicks against the Spurs or Thunder in the finals?
Actually, they're my favorites to win it right now. The way the West is going and how they're battling out, they're beating each other up. They don't seem 100% healthy, especially OKC. San Antonio has some injuries, some guys banged up, but they're playing on those injuries. And even through the regular season, when you've seen that San Antonio's matched up with the Knicks throughout the in-season cup final, they were struggling with them. Like that double big matchup gives Wemby some troubles. And when OKC, if they're down J-Dub or AJ Mitchell, it's hard to create offense with those guys being out. And the Knicks are so deep with Shamet, Deuce McBride, those guys coming off the bench. I like the Knicks to be the favorites in this final series, whoever comes out of the West. Yeah, well rested, but still hungry here for the Knicks. But let's get to the Cavs because they get embarrassed in the conference finals. Danny, what work do they need to do this offseason? A lot needs to happen. A lot needs to change. They had a great season, big picture, and I love what they did. They got to the Eastern Finals, but you can't be satisfied, right? So you got to make changes now. If you want to be a championship team, you have to compete with the New York Knicks. You have to compete with Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. So that means you got to find the right pieces around you, around Donovan Mitchell, whoever you keep on board. I like Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley to keep. Everybody else expendable. But you got to find 3-and-D wings, some young athleticism, some guys, some bigs that can help you and compete with the New York Knicks, to compete with the San Antonio Spurs, Oklahoma City Thunder. So they got to find a roster and wherever else they make decisions-wise, front office or coaching-wise, to be able to be at the highest level and be in contention. But all in all, they had a great season, but it's time to make moves and get better this summer.
Yeah, a lot of work to do. Danny, a lot of work for you. So you're going to hang out with us here on SportsCenter.
Are you going skiing? What's happening here?
Which ones you want?
I like the white ones.
Or do you want these?
What else do you have? Let's see. Oh, but those feel way too normal. I can't interview you while you look that normal. I'm so used to being thrown for a loop a little bit more than that.
These 3D ones.
How many of these do you have at your desk?
Those are sick.
A lot.
I mean, what else is?
What is that? What is that football helmet?
Is that a Buffalo Bills helmet? Like, what's behind you? Look over your left shoulder. What are those?
Oh, no,
Reebok.
Yeah. Reebok. Oh, nice.
Oh, that's Reebok. Okay.
Oh, sick.
Okay.
I'm trying to. These are good.
Okay, that works.
Pump up your Reeboks and you just don't stop.
Mine are so dirty I can barely see you. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hey, did you have fun last night? How's your top hat?
It's good. That was crazy.
Was it that crazy though?
Not really, because we know the feeling because you was there every time I got swept. So
Yep. I remember we had Howard Beck on earlier, and in 2001, when you guys kept sweeping and everybody kept, remember all like the local guys would show up with their brooms and like, hey, Shaquille, here's a broom for all your sweeps. And you're like, yeah, I've heard that joke before. But that's what I felt like watching last night. And everyone was talking about, oh, what are the teams going to do in between? I'm like, yeah, we've played that song before, like you and I have.
Are we starting now?
Yeah, we're already on.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Hey, brother, is this on? What if you'd said something like inappropriate, or that would have been fantastic? That would have been really fun. No, we're on.
First of all, I would never say anything appropriate to the lovely, beautiful wife of the great Hall of Fame Rich Eisen. It's not my stuff.
No comment.
Yeah.
No, that was fun last night watching you and Charles dancing around on, or it was you and Kenny dancing on ESPN. I also thought Charles looked really freaked out by the robots, by the way, but that's a whole nother conversation.
He was. Charles is a fraidy cat. Like, he's afraid of everything. I mean, one time we had a fake rabbit, and we gave him the fake rabbit. And, he thought the rabbit was real. I was last night. It brought me back. I understand how James and how Donovan is feeling. I don't know if I'm tied with LeBron, but I think I'm one of the biggest names with the most sweeps. You can correct me. How many times have I got swept, Susie?
You did. Let me look it up. Well, I know we had the 3 in 2001, right?
Okay, so it was 3 in LA.
And then you had
1 in Orlando.
Yep.
No, 2 in Orlando.
2 in Orlando. Is that when you had the parade?
Yeah. So that was the finals, and then the next year after that, when Mike came back in '96. Yep. So I have 5, and I think LeBron has 4. So, but my teams, we never quit. We didn't have what it took to win, but it looked to me like they gave up really, really early, and then New York just. I hate to say it, but New York just put their foot on their neck and they just crushed them.
How good is this team? Is it about?
They are so good. I already know what you're going to answer. They are so good. I owe the whole state and all 5 boroughs of New York an apology.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, so I want to apologize to Spike Lee, Tracy Morgan, Al Palagonia, all the superstars that were sitting there. They are really good. They have it. It reminds me of that Detroit team that beat us my last year there.
With Rashid?
With Rashid. They just got a bunch of guys that are just together. Mm-hmm. Because we look at that, Detroit team, no disrespect to all the guys, but they didn't really have any really big name players that you talked about all the time. Big Shot, Chauncey was there, Rashid was there, the Hall of Famer Ben Mobbs was there, but they were a collective group, and they just played together, and they fought hard, and they never gave up. And when I look at this Knicks team, it reminds me so much of that team, led by Jalen Brunson. But, true definition of a player, as you know, is they make his players around them better. So, game 1 where he mounted the comeback, where he went crazy, Cleveland adjusted and said, okay, we're going to double him. And then he kicked it to his guy, and Josh Hart started going off and, start playing well. Cat's not really dominating like I want him to dominate, but he's really playing nice, smooth basketball right now, getting everybody involved, initiating the offense from the top of the key, and they look good. OG Anunoby, my guy Alvarado's coming in, giving them a spark, and they're just playing very well.
What's your favorite memory of either playing in New York or interactions that you had with Knicks fans?
Well, Knicks fans think they're going to win every year, and they're loyal. They never switch up. Ever since I've been going up against the great Patrick Ewing and Larry Johnson and the great Charles Oakley. They always said, we're going to win, we're going to win, we're going to win. And then when they lose, they go, okay, don't worry about it. But we'll get them next year, and we'll get them next year, we'll get them next year, we'll get them next year. This is their year. I'm happy for New York. I'm happy we are going to be covering the finals. It's going to be great. Charles Barkley said this the other day. When the Knicks are playing great basketball, it's fun for everybody. So now that the Knicks are in the final, I can't wait to see who they play.
It's going to be great.
It is going to be great. I was getting ready to say that I don't know if they can beat either team on the West, but now I don't know if I can say that.
Why?
Because they're playing excellent ball and they have everything covered. They defend, they shoot the ball, they never panic. Their bounce back game is impressive. Only thing I fear, but not really, because I always enjoy when we got 5 to 6 days off because I could just rest my body and not think about anything. They got 9, 10 days off, and being in New York and everybody, hopefully they don't get too happy because the mission is not accomplished. But me, if I was playing now, I would definitely enjoy these 9 days off. The first 3 days I wouldn't even do nothing. I would even looking at basketball. 4, 5, and 6, we'll probably know who our opponent's in. And then 7, 8, 9, I'm starting to get that pace. And then I'm going to have so much energy in that game 1. So I can't wait till the final start. I know it starts next Wednesday, and I will definitely be there.
I remember when you had those days off because you were banged up and you get your treatment and you'd chill out, and Phil would raise his eyebrows every time somebody would ask him what to do with that time frame. But then you came back and you lost game 1 before you went on to take care of Philadelphia. So what's the adjustment like that from your own experience?
Yeah, but we being that was our second championship, we had the blueprint. So I knew with all those days off not to go crazy. So I just rested. I got my massages. I did the ice. I was up in Mulholland Estates. First couple of days I was just focusing on being a daddy. Just playing with the kids. Out with them, doing stuff. Not really going out in the city too much. But I had great energy and I was feeling good. We just went up against a guy that was not remarkable. He was super remarkable. Because remember, our thing was we're not doubling this guy. AI, you're going to beat us. You have to beat us. And I think he had, 48, 50 points up here?
Mm-hmm. What do you make of the game that we're going to see tonight? What are you expecting? Do you think OKC bounces back?
Well, they are known to bounce back. They got smacked pretty good, but they don't seem to have any panic in their system. From a big man standpoint, I would like to see Victor Wembanyama dominate. It's nice to see a big guy dominate and put up the numbers that he put in. Game 1, he had 40, they won. And in game 2, I think he was in the 20s, they lost. This last game, game 4, I think it was, he had 22 points in the first half, ended up with 33. I think if he can put up the big numbers and play inside and get the Thunder defense to kind of react a little bit and then get his guys involved, they have a shot. And defensively for the Spurs, I don't think they need to panic every time SGA gets the ball. The games that they lost, they were doubling him at, half court damn near, and he was able to, the great player that he is, he was able to, pick the Spurs apart, get everybody else involved. If I was the Spurs, I'd say, okay, SGA, get 50.
Let's talk about Wemby in particular before we go back to SGA. What is your advice to him on how he's been playing and how he should play going into these next few games?